I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get ready to cover pole day qualifying in preparation for the 9th race of the second season of the NCRA Duracell Ultra Lite Series here in the Lone Star State. This is Texas Motor Speedway. 15 minutes will be on the clock. 29 drivers will be vying for the pole position in tomorrow night's Whataburger 120. Coming off the heels of our first road course stop of the season, that of course was at the Sonoma Raceway. We saw Roberto Brown Jr. go to victory lane, and point stands closed up quite a bit as well, especially amongst the top 5 in overall points coming into this evening. Some drivers had some really good runs that were right up there in the point stands, other drivers not so good runs, so there was a bit of fluctuation, a little bit of back and forth in terms of who came into tonight's race points-wise. The top 5 in points made the top 5 in points, just in different positioning. But as I said, the points are a lot closer, and it will be interesting to see in this race. I don't necessarily think that we're going to be in the trend we've been the last couple of weeks, where we were at short tracks like North Wilkesboro and Lucas Oil, and then of course the road course at Sonoma, where it was all about track position, starting track position. I think that this is going to be now where we're going to head into racetracks where you can make your own fortune if necessarily you don't clock in with a super fast lap time in qualifying. So we'll see if that pans out, but you know, drivers want to get that pole position nonetheless. They'd love to have that clean air to the nose at the initial start of this race, and we've had so far this season a total of 7 drivers capture a pole position here in Lite Series competition. Just want to point out as well, I said I would give you this information last week. Roberto Crown Jr., we said that his win at Sonoma, his second career win in the Lite Series, his first win, North Wilkesboro, back in Season 1. So just getting that statistic squared away. We'll see if maybe he can capture the pole position, but there's 28 other drivers that want that pole as well, as we're being told that the 15-minute timer has begun. These drivers will be able to head on out and see who is going to start on the pole, who's going to start on the front row, and who will start in the subsequent 27 other positions. You see there our race winner from last week, Roberto Crown Jr. there in the number 1 pit stall, and he's actually the first one out onto the racetrack. Roberto Crown Jr. with his victory last week moved up to 4th in the point stands. He is 32 points out of the points lead. 34 points separate the top 5 in overall standings, and that is something that we will definitely be talking a lot more about as we head into the second half of the regular season. 15 additional bonus points given to the driver that wins the regular season championship in preparation for the playoffs. It sometimes can mean an automatic lock into, in the case here for the Lite Series drivers, the round of 7. This is the reconfigured Texas Motor Speedway, but it does bring about really good racing. We've seen it in the Cup Series before. This is the first time that the Lite Series drivers, though, have been to the Lone Star State. We were supposed to double down here in Texas. We were supposed to run Circuit of the Americas and then, of course, Texas the following week, but COTA did not pan out. Subsequently, we end up having it here with Texas off the heels of Infineon or Sonoma, whichever you'd like to call it, from last week. 31.270, the first lap time put down by Roberto Crown Jr. here in this session. Draft is going to come into play in qualifying efforts here tonight. This much we know. Improves to a 31.087. Does Roberto Crown Jr. Just up ahead of him, Eli Bright, who wants to forget last week when he dominated the early portion of the Sonoma race after starting on the pole position. Pit road mistake, though, cost him several spots. He ended up finishing inside of the top 10, but kind of looking back at what could have been, Eli Bright, nonetheless, though, with that solid effort, jumped up 6 spots in the stands. He is 10th in overall points coming into this weekend's race, 63 points out of the points lead. Still searching for that top 5, though. Kind of thought he was going to get it last week with the good starting track position he had, but came up just short. Cole Koibe, he did not have a good run at Sonoma last week. Had moved his way up into the top 7 in overall points. So his win at Manassas, not necessarily what he would have to rely on to be able to make the playoffs. He'd be able to point his way in, but poor performance last week dropped him now down to a wild card spot. He is 11th in overall points coming into this one, right now sitting in the first wild card position. And things are getting a little bit congested for those wild card spots as well. 7 drivers will make it into the playoffs via top 7 in the standings. 3 drivers will get in via wild card spots, and right now 4 former winners are outside of the top 7. Koibe 11th in overall points, Aubrey Powell 13th, Dave Smith 15th, and Michael Turner 17th. So we'll have to keep tabs on that, especially if we have more different winners outside the top 7 in points. That will make things even more tougher for drivers to be able to get one of those coveted 3 wild card spots to win their way into the playoffs. Saw Dustin Bolin last week. The effort of putting him in the Bishop Family Racing car really panned out, as he would then, the following day, finish 2nd in the Cup Series race, continuing to try and make his way back into the top 30 in Cup Series points. He's back behind the wheel of the Kellogg's Dark Horse Mustang for Bishop Family Racing here this week at Texas. Right now, 4th fastest on the board at a 30.254. Finished 16th in his series debut in the Lite Series last week at Sonoma. Looking for a better performance here this week. Colin Grace has been falling from grace the last couple of weeks. It has been negative positions for the 27 out of Haas Racing. Right now, though, looking good on the speed charts. 5th fastest. 18th in points coming into this one tomorrow night for the driver of the 27, the Exalta Supra. Mike Tellier, 21st on the board right now out of the 29 drivers that have taken time. Mike coming into this one currently positioned in the 21st spot in points as well. It's not been a great start to the season for him, and there is the driver right now that has a win, that being at Las Vegas, but is currently out of the playoffs. Currently 4th of the 4 former winners, outside of the top 7 in points. Michael Turner dropped 7 spots in the standings last week at Sonoma to 17th in overall points, 28th on the board right now too, so not finding a whole lot of speed here currently at Texas. A couple of cars coming down pit road. You saw Brody Kutsky on pit road, Eli Bright and Dustin Bolin hitting pit lane. We're looking at Autumn Brooks in the 60. 3rd fastest right now for the driver out of Garage 55. Autumn coming into this one 20th in the standings. Finished around mid-pack, lower mid-pack last week at Sonoma. Didn't have a good qualifying effort, and that translated into not that great of a finishing result either. As up ahead, the drivers that headed into Sonoma, 1st and 2nd in points. Cam Wright Jr., a solid outing. Opened up a little bit of a points gap between himself and David Dixon. I think he gained 2 or 3 points on his teammate. Has 25 points in hand over Dixon. Kyle Langland He was second in points going into that Sonoma race, but poor qualifying effort led to a poor finishing result, and he dropped from second now to fifth in the overall standings, 34 points out of the points lead. So looking to bounce back here this week at the Texas Motor Speedway. Reggie Fogelman, right now second on the board behind Sean Galligan, 30.166 for the Cup Series driver. I believe there are only 3 Cup drivers in the field this week. We saw Destin Bolin, Reggie Fogelman, and we'll see the third driver in just a few moments. Cat Batson, great run last week at Sonoma. Maybe the best driver and crew in terms of execution on pit road. Brought it home inside of the top 5, and because of that, Cat Batson's moved up to 19th in the point standing. So looking to ride that momentum here this weekend at the Texas Motor Speedway. Right now 18th on the board, 17th fastest right behind her, now below her, that being Nathan Fogler. Fogler looked like he was en route for a good run last week, but a pit road miscue ended up having him finish way down in the results. And because of that, Nathan Fogler ended up falling to 25th in the point standings, losing 2 spots in overall points. There's the fastest driver in Texas right now, Sean Galligan, in 62 out of Garage 55. He is currently sitting at a 30.156, about 100th faster than Reggie Fogelman. Sean Galligan has had a really struggling season here at the beginning of Season 2. He only has 1 top 5, that's his only top 10, and he is 23rd in overall points. He gained a spot in the standings last week, even though he didn't have the greatest of runs at Sonoma. Maybe this is the turnaround point for him if he can capture his first pole of his Duracell Ultra Lite Series career. Cody Majorek, he's just kind of been hovering around inside the top 10 in points for the last couple of weeks, ever since IRP, North Wilkesboro, that area. He's 7th in overall points coming into this one, so right now would be the last driver in line to point his way into the playoffs, and right now 12th fastest on the board at a 30.402. Here's our winner from a couple of weeks ago at Indianapolis Raceway Park. That's Dave Smith, went coast to coast, pole to win. 8th fastest right now for the Papa Dave Chevrolet out of Adrenaline Motorsports. He continues his upward climb, had a decent run last week at Sonoma as well, now up to 15th in points, and right now in the final 3rd wildcard position. Craig Batson continues to impress as well, another great run for him last week at Sonoma, despite the fact that Craig has 3 more less starts than everybody else that's taken every green flag so far this season, 3 top 10s. And he is only about 23 points now behind his next closest competitor in the point standings, which would be Nathan Fogler. So keep an eye on this guy. If he can get a win, I think you could definitely see, with the consistency and the amount of schedule we've still got left, he could point his way up into the top 20 into a wild card position as Cam Wright Jr. on pit road. Wes McCoy in the 8 car netted his first top 10 on the season last week. Finally broke in. He was the last driver, full-time driver, that hadn't gotten a top 10 finish, and he finished solidly inside the top 10. A great run at Sonoma. Another driver that executed very well with his team on pit road during green flag pit stops. Because of that top 10 finish, picked up 3 spots in the standings, 22nd in overall points coming into this weekend. Juan Garcia, 13th on the board right now. Juan coming into this one 16th in points, had a decent outing, gained a spot in the standings. And right behind him, Jackson Haywood, just outside the top 10 on the speed charts, 11th fastest at a 30.356. Jackson coming into this one 6th in the point standings. He gained 2 spots in overall points last week, so was outside of the 7th in the standings cut line and moved his way back in this week. There is the 3rd and final Cup Series driver that will be in the field here tomorrow evening. Carson Gum, ready to make his Duracell Ultra Lite Series debut. Now, Carson Gum drives for Fortnite Squad Racing in the Cup Series. This is the All-Star car out of Garage 55, but a lot of people will remember last season, Fortnite Squad Racing was a split manufactured team, fielding Chevrolets for Dylan Poteen and Carson Gum, and Mazdas for Anthony McCurry and Nick Gunther. Well, of course, Gunther Motorsports then came on became Garage 55. They moved over to the full-time Mazda team with the 55, 61, and 62. But with the tie-in that Garage 55 has had with Fortnite Squad Racing and Carson Gum being a Texas native, he's going to get the opportunity to do the double here this week in both Lights and Cup Series. Carson bringing the NOAA sponsorship over to this Mazda here this weekend. We'll see how he does in his Lights Series debut. Right now, 9th fastest on the board for the former Duracell Cup Series champion. Skylar Taylor, he took advantage of Kyle Langland's poor performance last week, had a solid outing inside the top 10 himself, moved up to 3rd in overall points, our Daytona winner. Right now, 19th on the board, though, in his Mazda. We've seen Brody Kupski on pit road a couple of times here, and they've been making adjustments. Right now, 22nd fastest for him. Both he and Dave Smith going to be the only Adrenaline Motorsports cars in the field here this weekend. Jack Mitchell not in the field for this one. Aubrey Powell and the 71 out of Haas Racing. Aubrey 13th in overall points, right now in the 2nd wild card spot, our Phoenix race winner. She's 14th on the board, or he's on 14th on the board, I should say, at a 30.439. And another Texas native that is hoping to do the double this week, Chris Dollerton. We know he'll take part in the Lights race tomorrow evening. Right now, 21st on the board in that Shell Pennzoil Dark Horse Mustang entry out of Michael Norman Motorsports, but he will also be attempting to qualify tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Bull Day qualifying for the Cup Series for that race. So Dollerton looking to do the double here. Nathan Stapleton in the 97. We saw him last week kind of try to soldier on with damage after he and Anthony McCurry made contact during a cycle of green flag pit stops. Stapleton dropped the spot in the standings to 14th in overall points. Got some speed here this evening, though, 7th fastest at a 30.314. And I think most of what you're seeing for your speeds across the top of your screen are where drivers are pretty much going to start tomorrow night. I'm not seeing anybody improving on their lap times. If anything, they're almost a full second and a half off their fastest laps. I think field might be set, and now drivers are just kind of settling in for long runs, seeing what their cars will feel like in tomorrow night's race. Jordan Anderson, 25th fastest right now for him. He had an unbelievable run last week. It jumped up 6 spots in the standings. 8th in overall points coming into this one, knocking on the door of the top 7 in terms of trying to get a points-paying playoff spot. Easy for me to say. There's David Dixon, 10th fastest right now for the DHL Chevrolet. 2nd in overall points, as we documented, 25 points behind his teammate Cam Wright Jr. It is Southern Cross Racing, 1-2 right now at the top of the point standings pile-on. They've had incredible season as an organization overall. Both their cars have gone to victory lane. David Dixon at Pocono and Cam Wright Jr. at North Wilkesboro. Both of them looking pretty speedy here as well. Right now, Cam Wright Jr. is 20th fastest and David Dixon is 10th fastest. But again, as I said, I don't think this is necessarily going to be all about track position in tomorrow night's race. Ralph Mason trying to get a little draft off his teammate Autumn Brooks. Garage 55 cars look really good. All 4 of them are up inside of the top 10 right now in terms of speed. Galligan at the top of the board, Autumn Brooks 3rd, Ralph Mason 6th, and Carson Gum in 9th. But zeros on the clock, and Sean Galligan, who so far this season has only 1 top 10, is about to get himself his first pole of his Duracell Ultra Light Series career, as it is official, and he will share the front row with Cup Series regular Reggie Fogelman. Autumn Brooks will line up right behind her teammate in 3rd. Destin Bolin, another Cup Series driver, going to start 4th. Colin Grace will complete the top 5, followed by Ralph Mason, Nathan Stapleton, Dave Smith, Carson Gum, and David Dixon. So a big statement there for Garage 55. All 4 of their cars inside of the top 9 in qualifying speed. As we look a little bit further on down the list here, and going to be second straight week of poor qualifying effort for Kyle Langland and the 26 team. Michael Turner going to start shotgun on the field as he's trying to get himself back into a wild card spot for the playoffs. And hometown driver Chris Dollerton, home state driver I should say, going to roll off 21st. Carson Gum, as we mentioned, going to roll off in 9th. We know Carson will do the double. We'll have to wait and see if Chris Dollerton's also going to be doing the double here in Lights and Cup Series, but we won't find that out until tomorrow evening for pole day qualifying for the next gen Cup Series drivers. But looks like a lot of opportunity for passing here with what we saw with the 29 drivers out here tonight. Can't wait to see what happens when the green flag flies on the Whataburger 120 tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you guys will join us for that. But if you guys enjoyed this qualifying session, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe part of the crew today. We showed you your starting lineup for tomorrow night's race. We'll see you at 5 p.m. for pole day qualifying for the Cup Series drivers, 7 p.m. for the Whataburger 120 here for the Duracell Ultra Light Series. And until then, I've been Seth Cohen. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.
The following has been a presentation of NNSCRA TV for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of the NNSCRA is prohibited. NNSCRA would like to thank all of our loyal fans, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.